Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in.
Hello. Welcome back to the pod. I am so excited that you are listening to this, and I'm excited about today's episode because I'm going to talk through why you're not actually regressing, you are rebuilding. And this is related to, obviously, if you are working through an injury, working through a nagging ache or pain, or what have you. I know that the whole process of getting better is not necessarily fun. It's not the funnest thing in the world. It's not fun to feel like you're starting over and to slow down and to go from, maybe you're used to lifting a heavy barbell. Maybe you're used to moving fast in your workouts and breathing super heavy, and then you're working through this injury and trying to rebuild your strength. It feels like you're taking a step back because you are probably, or you should be, doing things like single leg work, using tempo, slowing down. And if you're used to what you were doing previously, you might be like, oh my gosh, this feels so boring. Does this even matter? I am taking 20 steps back. I'm never going to get back to doing what I used to do before. This is probably what your brain is telling you. And the mental aspect of coming back from an injury or working through a nagging pain that's been bothering you for a while, the mental side of things is literally so much of it. It is such a huge part of actually coming back from the process and not hating yourself throughout the journey, because what you think about and what you focus on drives so much of how you feel in this rehab process. And so a big thing I talk about with a lot of my clients is reframes, right? Okay, you're having this thought of oh my gosh, it feels like I'm taking 20 steps backwards, I am never going to get back to where I was, blah, blah, blah. Okay, can we reframe that to, I am rebuilding my strength from the ground up. I'm rebuilding my foundation from the ground up so that I can be even stronger than I was before my injury. Because I will say that, from my personal experience, in a lot of ways, I am stronger than I was before my injury, because before my injury, I never did any single leg stuff. I never really focused on any mobility. I never really focused on something as simple as my big toe extension, but it is absolutely vital to how your body even moves. And so I actually have a much stronger foundational level strength after my injury compared to before, because your injury actually forces you to go back to the basics, go back to the foundation and actually rebuild, or you're just not going to get better. So as somebody who has been on the other side or coming on the up and up, I feel like still after my ankle injury 5 years ago, that it that is possible to feel like that after injury is wow, I actually am stronger than I was before my injury. So that slight perspective shift of I'm regressing to I'm rebuilding can be super helpful. And on a similar note there, part of the process of rebuilding after an injury is slowing down, focusing on control, and really thinking about mind-muscle connection to your muscles. And that might not be something that you have ever thought about before during your workouts or ever experienced because you were just focused on like pushing through, getting the movements done, all of that. And actually taking a time to focus on my muscle connection and like, okay, am I actually feeling the right muscles in this hinge pattern? Like, it doesn't feel like it in the moment, but that's actually going to get you way better results than you just like moving through the movements without even thinking of, oh, am I even feeling this in the right muscles? Like, you know, you're probably not thinking about that and you're just thinking about getting the work done. There's a time and place for those type of workouts, but if we're talking about rebuilding after an injury, that also can be a positive of like learning this skill of my muscle connection, actually using the right muscles during certain movements. Like that actually gives you better results in terms of being able to build muscle in the right places, and in turn that changes your body composition in a positive way. So that is another pro that you can think about. And when you do go back to the basics of building foundational level strength with really like single leg movements, tempo, slowing down, all of that, your more advanced strength movements like a barbell back squat or a barbell deadlift, like those movements are actually better and stronger when you focus on the foundational stuff. So you could think about it in a way of like, I am setting myself up to have my strongest body ever. I am setting myself up to have my most athletic body ever. My best performance, right? Because a lot of times when we get into fitness, like before we have an injury or if we don't have experience with an injury or whatever, you just like get in and do the movements. You just get in and you just do the workout and do the work, which is great, but you can tend to like skip over a lot of really important foundational level things. And when you have something like an injury or an ache or pain that you're working through, it forces you to revisit those foundational patterns, because otherwise you are not going to get rid of the issue for good. So anyways, if you can think about your rehab process, working through an injury process, whatever you want to call it, if you can think about it in this positive way of I'm rebuilding my foundational level and setting my body up to have my strongest, most powerful body ever, like if you can reframe it to that, you're going to have a lot more enjoyable experience working through your injury. And it's a journey. I mean, it's really a journey depending on how long you've had the issue, you know, what severity it was, all of that. Like, it can be such a journey to get back to XYZ, whatever you want to do. And if you can, the small changes you can make mentally to enjoy the process a little more, it's going to make your life so much better. Because if you just have a bad attitude the whole time you're trying to like work through this injury, like you're just gonna be miserable. So you might as well find ways to see like, what is the pro? How could I reframe this to make it feel more positive? Like that does make a big difference in how you feel mentally throughout your recovery. So that is all I have for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and just kind of talking through the mental side of having an injury, working through an injury, how it can feel like a regression, but you're actually rebuilding. I hope you enjoyed this topic. If you are somebody who is like, hey, I need to go through a rebuild phase. I have been dealing with this nagging ache or pain for a while and it's not going away, or maybe you just got cleared from PT and you're wanting to work on your strength, work on your mobility to really get back to your strongest body. Like if that is you, I highly encourage you to check out my 8-week one-on-one coaching offer I am doing right now called the Movement Rebuild. And it's basically a bite-sized version of my full one-on-one. So if you're somebody who has been watching me and kind of on the fence about working with me, this 8-week offer is a really good way to see like what the process is like, all of that. Basically, how the 8 weeks will go is you go through my full 4-day assessment and testing process. We do a summary. I explain to you, this is how I'm going to build out your program, and then I write you a program for the remainder of the time, and we check in every other week. So you have a program built for your body and where your body is at, and it's progressed throughout the 8 weeks. And yeah, so this is for you if you fit this bill. Like, this program is for you if you resonate with today's episode and you're ready to make a change and do things differently and walk into the gym confident that you know this is going to help you feel better. This is built for your body. No more guessing. And yeah, so if that is something you're interested in, I have the link up in the show notes with the details, or you could just send me a DM on Instagram at Coach Ashley127, and you could just write rebuild in the DM and we can talk details. But this is starting July 14th, I believe. Yes, July 14th is when the movement rebuild starts. So, and I'm only taking 5 spots. So if you are interested, it's important to reserve your spot so we can rock and roll. But I will talk to you guys next week.